Okay, let's do a rundown one more time of the rules of this 18th century 2-to-1 style. Now, these are kind of our six main rules. They're different than just the rules I talked about before in regards to just non chord tones. So, rule number one, follow the guidelines of first species counterpoint. So start there. Start with all the rules of first species counterpoint. So that means our type of motion that we looked at back here, oblique, contrary motion, similar motion, and parallel motion. Those are our four types of motions. Those still apply. Keep in mind the principles of good melodic writing. You want a good melody in there. And make sure the beginning and endings of the piece imply tonic and a nice cadence leading into tonic. So like a 5-1 cadence. Number two, chordal skips, passing tones, neighbor tones on the offbeat and occasionally on the downbeats are okay. Number three, the perfect fourth is a dissonance and can be used as a passing or a neighbor tone in a 4-3 suspension. So remember that the 4 is a dissonance that needs to resolve either up to a fifth or down to a third. Usually a third, especially if it's a suspension, it's got to go down to a third. Number 4, avoid similar motion into perfect intervals unless the upper voice moves by step. So we have similar motion. We don't want it to go into a perfect intervals. I don't think we talked about that one too much, but like this is not something that you can readily do unless it's a cadence. You can get away with it. So we have similar motion into a perfect interval. So you can do it in a cadence, but it's not something that we want to do all the time. It's a rare thing. Parallel octave. Number 5, parallel intervals, still not good. That falls into number 1 that we talked about a minute ago, which is rules of first species counterpoint, but it's worth re-emphasizing. Avoid parallel perfect intervals. And number 6, occasionally include dissonant suspensions, especially when heading towards a cadence. So watch out for your cadences. Dissonant suspensions, totally okay. As well as some of those non-chord tones on strong beats that is allowed in 18th century style of counterpoint. So those are our main rules, everything we've covered so far. So let's do one more worksheet, and then we're going to head into the full SATB composition. So writing for 4 voices. Off we go.